All right, thanks for staying with us, everyone. Now to Asia, where Chinese President Xi Jinping has promised that China will take control of Taiwan, declaring unification unstoppable in his New Year's Eve address. Speaking on state television, Xi warned that Beijing would annex Taiwan by force if necessary, as China concluded its most intense military drills around the self-governing island in years. He described reunification as a trend of the times and stressed shared ties between people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. The warning followed large-scale Chinese military exercises dubbed Justice Mission 2025, involving live fire drills, naval blockades, and coordinated operations by China's Navy, Air Force, Rocket Force, and Coast Guard. The drills were conducted closer to Taiwan than previous exercises. Taiwan remains on high alert, with its defense ministry confirming continued monitoring of Chinese aircraft and vessels near the island. Taipei has ordered its forces to maintain heightened readiness. All right, to discuss this with me is global affairs analyst Kule Falowo. He joins me via Zoom from Indianapolis, United States. Good to have you join us, Kule. So let me just get your thoughts on this latest escalation. We've seen China carrying out drills around the strait for a really long time, or even to the point of firing rockets, around that area. It seems like things are escalating. Do you think?
Well, the Chinese will term these as a deterrent, which is more close to escalation, as everybody seems to argue. Then again, we have to look at the root cause of this deterrence, as they call it. It goes back to one of the recent arms deal and agreement between the Taiwanese government and the United States government. And has been a theme of concern, of great concern to the Chinese government, because just like what's playing out between Russia and Ukraine, that's kind of what we're starting to look at, honestly.
It looks like we lost connection with Kule Falowo, who joined us from the U.S., in Indianapolis in the U.S. We're talking about the latest escalation in tensions between China and Taiwan, and China is vowing some kind of reunification, saying it will use force if it has to do so. And he talked about it as a trend of the time, and that looks like a reference to the Russia-Ukraine war, where Russia also invaded Ukraine recently. And when that happened, a lot of people sort of said, look, it feels like something that China would want to do. But let's try and see if we'll have Kule Falowo back now. Kule Falowo, just to check if you can hear me so you can continue with your thought. All right, so we do not have Kule Falowo. We'll continue that conversation. But let's just turn attention to other stories now. Several people are presumed dead, and about 100 have been injured after a blaze ripped through a crowded bar in the luxury alpine ski resort town of Crans, Montana. A police spokesperson, Gaetan Lathion, said the fire started at about 1:30 on Thursday morning in a bar called Lake Constellation, as revelers rang in the new year. Frederick Gisela, the police commander in the Valais canteen in southwestern Switzerland, told reporters in a media briefing as after the tragedy. Beatrice Pilot, Attorney General of the Valais canteen, said it was too early to determine the fire's cause, but added that investigators have ruled out an attack. Police say they could not immediately be more precise about how many people had been killed in the blaze. However, the Italian Foreign Ministry said in a statement that Swiss police believe about 40 people have died. Officials say helicopters and ambulances rushed to the scene to assist victims, including some from different countries. All right, we understand that we have Kule Follow back now to continue our conversation on the China-Taiwan conflict. Kule, good to have you back. There is a U.S. report currently saying that China is preparing to have the capability to win a fight for Taiwan by 2027. How crucial is this moment for Taiwan, and do you see an invasion in the nearest future?
Well, we're already seeing played out because of this gradual hostility by the Chinese government, and it's all intentional. This is a game that's been planned, and as a matter of fact, it's a war game that's been planned a long time ago, and it's starting to play out in piece and pieces. And unfortunately, we fear for an escalation because the entire region is really going to be affected. Not only that, Taiwan is a powerhouse when it comes to chips and technology, and a whole lot of countries are heavily dependent on the Taiwanese power and intellect when it comes to chips and things of that nature. And one of those clients or customers is the United States. And as we all know, Taiwan is in deep collaboration with the United States, and it's going to be more personal. It's going to be at a more personal level between the United States and not even Taiwan now. It's going to be more between United States and China because they're going to be, weighing and supporting the Taiwanese government very heavily. Not only that,
But
the
if I may quickly comment, because
yes.
you've talked about, we have a few seconds left. I want to address this. You've talked about the president, U.S. Weighing in heavily and supporting Taiwan, but President Trump also is looking to work with China on several fronts. Don't forget that there was a tariff truce recently between both countries. Do you think that President Trump will want to ruffle the feathers or find a way to ensure that it doesn't escalate?
So quite recently, there was a arms agreement and other agreement that's recently been signed between the Taiwanese government and the American government, and that's one of those reasons which went into billions of dollars, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing some kind of escalation between the Chinese and the Taiwanese governments. Comes to the tariffs. But again, we have to point out that the United States government, well, the Trump administration is only going to be here for 4 years, and there's a long-lasting diplomatic understanding between the Taiwanese government and the United States government, and that will really hold long because there is a deeper understanding and some form of reliance. Yes, we do understand that the United States government, present administration, are trying to work with the Chinese government, but it's left to be seen what kind of interaction will happen when it comes actually to Taiwan as a country because of the kind of agreement that's being spoken and unspoken between the United States government and the Taiwanese government.
All right, we're following developments in that country as always, in Asia as always. Thank you so much for your time. Global Affairs Analyst Kunle Follow.
Absolutely.
All right, that's TVC News. That's What Now. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, for the stories, international stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website. It's www.tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. We also have updates for you on WhatsApp and Telegram at TVC News Nigeria. And YouTube or live at TVC News Nigeria. Thanks for watching. I am Precious Amayo.